Buongiorno, siamo qui con Charles Broad, il direttore di Petrel. Hi.
How do you do?
So you are Australian, right?
I am, yeah.
So how much did your cultural background influence the making and the mindset of the film you shot?
Well, I was actually pretty conscious of trying to make a short film that I thought was Australian. I was trying to think what actually makes Australia unique, what makes us stand ourselves out to the rest of the world. And there's two things unique about Australia: our land and the indigenous culture in Australia. Now obviously I didn't touch on indigenous culture at all, but I thought, well, the land and that petrol station, those kind of quirky looking places, those locations, they're very Australian. So I did deliberately try to do something that would bring that out in a film.
Okay, and I would like to ask you,
Sure.
what was the greatest difficulty you had to face in making this short?
We had a lot of bumps. What's a good one? Okay, the location in the film. I went driving around a lot on the weekends to try and find a location like that. I went to Glen Davis, I went to Camden. These are country towns. One of them was 2 hours out of Sydney, one of them was 5 hours out of Sydney. And I was just trying to, initially I was trying to find, the story was initially about a man being stuck inside an empty town, but there aren't really any empty towns in Australia unless you want to build one and pay for it. So we came, okay, let's drop that. Why don't we make a petrol station, something easier. So just went on the road trying to find that, and the location we ended up getting, that was 5.5 hours out of Sydney. And I was actually looking at another location through the Screen Yourself Wales location search engine that's online. It gives you all sorts of criteria to find a location you want for filming. And there was one place like 2 minutes up the road from where we shot, but it was all boarded up for asbestos, and it didn't even look like a petrol station anymore. It just looked like a box that was in the middle of nowhere. And it was all boarded up, so it was useless. And I thought, well, I drove 5.5 hours out here for nothing. I might as well look around the place. And 2 minutes down the road was the location we shot in. And the guy that owned it, he was a gentleman named, his nickname was Dundee because he was so Australian. And he had a car that looked like the one at Mad Max. But he was really nice to us, and the location gave us a good price for it and gave us free accommodation. Saved us on the budget. So that was one thing, but there were lots of issues. There were issues on every film, but that was one of them.
Oh, thanks. And which dominant feeling did you want to transmit to the public, and which kind of features, technical features, did you achieve this?
Well, I definitely wanted, the first feeling I had was I want to make a film with the feeling of being stuck. That feeling that, and I also wanted to make a film where there was a character that was trying to overcome a physical obstacle and a mental obstacle at the same time. And by doing both, that would be the experience that the audience would go on. So I was thinking of scenarios plus the Australian feeling I wanted that lent itself to that kind of, to make a movie like that. You're saying what technical things did we do to try and achieve that? Well, we had to create the feeling that he was alone in the middle of nowhere, and definitely those drone shots at the start of the film helped a lot. But I also wanted interior spaces that had a lot of clutter. From a production design perspective, there were lots of posters on the wall, and every shelf would be really full. And we also wanted a lighting style where you could feel the lighting hitting everything, like you could feel it on the surfaces of things and on the actor's face. So we were looking at like Edward Hopper paintings, and it gets used as a reference for filmmaking a lot, like Wim Wenders borrows from Hopper in a lot of his, if you look at his early films, that was a reference for me. He was like the American Friend. And I also wanted a kind of classical style to the way we shot, so the camera is usually on sticks. We only used handheld in a couple of shots.
And does the soundtrack and the noises we hear play any role into this?
It's interesting. Initially I didn't conceive of that at the start of the film. The soundtrack went through many phases. The version of the soundtrack you hear in the film, that was the 8th version. We worked on it for about 2 months. Initially it was a completely different soundtrack with bells, and then we showed it to the staff at Sydney Film School and the students in my AD group, and it just was not getting the reaction the effect I thought was having. Like, it just wasn't working, and people were scratching their heads like, what are the bells all about? And we just thought, okay, let's forget it. And I really wanted a big score, but the short film and the story, a huge heavy score didn't really suit the story, so we thought, okay, synth tabs, that's the way we went about it. There's another part to your question I think I've forgotten.
Well, no, I think you answered.
Oh, the sound.
The sounds, yeah, also the sounds, yeah. We hear many like ring bells and...
That's definitely, that actually came out in post. It was just a suggestion by the sound design mentor and the post-production mentor. They said this movie should have a really hectic soundscape, and I never really thought of the film having that, to be honest, but we just kept building it in post and worked on that soundscape for a number of months and just kept building up and adding more sounds, and think, oh, if we hear this here, will that help? Oh, if we play this sound early, will it have this effect? And it changed the whole film, and it made it so much better than what it could have been.
Okay. And are you now working on something new?
I am, yeah.
Is it a short film?
It is another short film, yeah. And the crew on this, we all really enjoyed making it, and we all want to make another film again.
And do you want to give us just something in advance?
Sure. The title of it is called Battle Axe Block, and it's another aim with this film. It's sort of like this film, but it's environmental action thriller. That's what it's going to be, and I'm just sort of going off my instincts again, like I did with this film. Like, I wanted a feeling being stuck. Okay, and this will be a film about someone that stuck at the beginning, but they managed to actually escape, and that'll be the feeling that I want the audience to go on. And it'll all take place on a moving train, and there's a train museum 2 hours away from where we shot, and there's just all these old coal trains sitting there because the museum closed down, but they're just sitting there not doing anything. So my plan is when I get back to Australia to go there and do a bit of social engineering and see what we can do. Yeah.
Cool. Good luck so much.
Yeah, that will be challenging, but it'll be interesting because another thing there's a lot of effects in the film. We didn't really know if we could do those. We planned what we could, and the rest we made up on the day. So my thinking is, okay, if we have a lot more money, planning, and confidence in ourselves, what can we cheat and pull off if we really go for it? So that's another thing. It's kind of a production aim that I have. See what can we do again. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Too easy.
Thank you.